What's up, guys? Today I want to do another one of my 5 things I love versus 5 things I hate videos. I've done this for a few fighting games already, and I thought since Tekken 7 has been out for a few months now at this point, now is as good a time as any to do it about this game. You know, I've had enough time to kind of think over everything and really get a grip on what the game does really well and what the game could use some improvement on. So let's start out with the negatives. We're going to go in with the 5 things I hate about Tekken 7. So the first thing that is kind of a bummer about Tekken 7, something that people have talked about a lot, is that there's no tutorial at all, really. The game doesn't really teach you how to play very well. There's the thing at the beginning of the story mode where it kind of shows you what the buttons do, but that doesn't really count. That doesn't really teach you how to play. And there's like tips and stuff that they show on the load screens, which I think is really weird because there's like some important info on there that players should know, but they kind of hide it on the load screens, and there's no like repository where you can see all the tips in one place. There's no trial mode either where you can like learn combos. The training mode has like suggested combos, but there's not really any reward for doing these, and it doesn't, you know, say, okay, you did it right if you do it right. So it's a problem. It makes the game hard to learn, and it kind of Tekken is already a difficult game, and this just makes it more unapproachable for new players. So next up of the things I hate in Tekken 7 is the long load times. You're about to witness it in real time with me here. So first of all, you have to wait for the character select screen to load. That takes like a decently long time. And then you have to, you know, pick your side, pick your character, and then you're really in it for the long haul. You're going to be waiting like nearly a full minute, I think. It's pretty grueling. And, you know, when you're playing online, in between every single match, you have to wait through this. So it's just a huge pain. I'm hoping that maybe for the next generation of consoles, SSDs can be default, and maybe that'll help improve things. But for now, it is definitely a bummer having to sit through the really long load times so often in Tekken 7. So the third thing that I hate in Tekken 7 is that so far I feel that the DLC has been very lackluster. If you're like me and you shelled out the $25 for the Season Pass, you have not seen much of a return on your investment yet. They added Tekken Bowling, which is like pretty cool. It's kind of fun, but it just seems very, very low effort. There's a lot of stuff missing. There's no online, which is kind of crazy. You can't even play against the AI. You can only like play by yourself or with a local friend. And you can't wear your custom costumes when you're bowling, which is like absurd. Why would they not put that in? So, you know, I had some fun with Tekken Bowling, but overall I would say it was a letdown. Besides that, you know, there's like a few costumes, not that many costumes. I was hoping for way more. And they're adding 2 more characters, which is cool, but I just feel like it's definitely not enough to make up for the price of the Season Pass, especially when you consider how long the delays are between each little update. So I'm hoping they can kind of get things right with Season 2, kind of deliver more for us for the game to keep the game fresh in our minds, so we want to keep coming back and playing. Next up, something I really wish was in Tekken 7 but isn't is a replay feature. The only like online feature outside of matches they have is this leaderboard that is pretty useless. You can like see some stats about people on the leaderboard, but you know, you can't see any matches. You can't even look at your own matches to kind of analyze your play and see what you did wrong, unless you're like running a capture card or something to save it as a video file. Tekken 7 definitely has a lot more features than Street Fighter V in general, but one thing that Street Fighter V definitely has over Tekken 7 is a really robust replay mode. You know, you can look up players. If you have like a favorite player, you can look him up and watch his replays. All your own replays are automatically saved, so you can go in, watch your matches back, analyze what you did wrong. It's really great, so I hope that they'll add something like this at some point. I think it would be really helpful and really fun for people who like to watch kind of high-level matches as well. So finally, the 5th thing that I hate about Tekken 7 is all the input lag on the PS4 version. And I'm not talking about like lag if you're playing someone online with a bad connection. I mean, like constantly in-game, there is a lot of extra input lag on the PS4 version specifically. Like if you play it side by side with the PC version, you can really tell. There's a noticeable delay. People had some of the same complaints with Street Fighter V, And in general, I would say it's a little bit less noticeable in Tekken 7 just because, you know, in Tekken 7, like, a jab is 10 frames, so in Street Fighter 5, a jab is 3 frames, so you feel the input lag a lot more in that game. But in this, since we have the point of comparison of the PC version, you kind of start to feel like you're making a mistake by playing the PS4 version. But, of course, all the tournaments and stuff are on PS4, so you don't want to do all your practicing on the PC version. It's a real problem. So I hope that they're able to find a way to fix this, whether it's by, like, removing VSync or something. Some people think that might be the problem. I'm not sure, but it's a bummer, and it makes the game feel a lot more sluggish to play. So that's it for the things that I hate in Tekken 7, but let's go to the things I love about the game. So the first thing that I love in Tekken 7 that I want to talk about is the huge and varied roster. I mean, there are just so many characters in this game, and I think they're pretty much all really cool and unique. I really like the new characters. People who have watched my other videos will know I'm a huge fan of Kazumi and Josie. And I also like the new addition of the rage drives and the rage arts. I think that's a good way to further vary the characters, give them really unique tools and things that make them feel really different from each other. Next thing that I really love in Tekken 7 is the really robust training mode. There's so much you can do with Tekken 7's training mode. You know, you can use it to practice your combos, obviously, find out what are natural combos. I really love the feature where you can set the dummy to have multiple recordings and then he randomly switches between them. That's really good for, you know, practicing punishing stuff, practicing breaking throws, dealing with different mix-ups, stuff like that. I also like that when you look at the move list, you can watch the dummy perform the move or the combo that you're looking at, and it kind of gives you an idea of the timing and what exactly you need to do to make it come out. So Tekken has had good training modes for a few games now, and they're definitely continuing that trend with Tekken 7. Next up, the number 3 thing I love about Tekken 7 is that you can do cool stuff very quickly, but it will take you a really, really long time to master the game. So what I mean is that players can jump in and, you know, do all their characters' moves. There isn't a huge execution barrier outside of some of the really crazy combos. And you can press buttons and feel like you're doing cool stuff because your character is doing such cool stuff on screen. But obviously there is so much depth in Tekken. You know, people play for years before, you know, they become top level players. There's just so much to it that I think that there's kind of that great contrast there where anyone at any skill level can enjoy the game, but if you want to get really good, it takes a lot of practice and a lot of dedication. Next up, something that I really love in Tekken is the soundtrack. Tekken 7's soundtrack is incredible. I mean, just listen to this. This is the menu theme, and it's so sick. It gets me so pumped up every time. Plus, I love that there is a custom soundtrack feature. You can go in and swap out songs that you don't like with some different songs, use music from previous Tekken games. It's all in there. Or if you're a real pro, you can create a playlist where every song is just high school love from Tekken Tag 2. Just blast that for every match so that everybody knows what a badass you are. I love all the soundtrack features in Tekken 7. I think the music is so good. And the fifth and final thing that I really love in Tekken 7 is the really strong sense of progression that you get when you play. You know, I love how you never feel like you lost to something that you're just clueless about. You know, there's always ways that, you know, you can go into training mode, learn what the opponent did to you, figure out how to beat it, jump back in online, and then if you lose to something else that you have no idea about, you can learn how to beat that. It's just this really addictive loop, for me at least, where you're just always feeling like you're getting better, always feeling yourself improve. I love the way that ranked mode has separate ranks for every character. That's really great. It lets you try out new characters, try to get good with them without having to sacrifice your rank. And you just get such a positive feeling when you rank up and start reaching your goals of trying to get better. But guess what, guys? We did it! Promoted to Brawler! Mission accomplished. Yeah, moments like that. So yeah, I think Tekken has a lot to offer if you're the kind of player where you like to, you know, practice feel yourself getting better, enjoy that progression curve of learning the game, I find Tekken to be extremely satisfying. So, again, guys, even though I covered some of the problems with the game, overall, I am just a massive fan of Tekken 7. I think it's one of the best fighting games on the market right now, so I would recommend it to anyone who's watching this video and interested but hasn't played the game yet. So, that's going to be it for the list, guys. Let me know if there's other games that you'd be interested in hearing my thoughts on. If you haven't already, check out my lists for Street Fighter V and Marvel as well. And that's going to be it. So thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one.